Yes. Poonam?
Yes, ma'am. Shall I start, ma'am?
Yeah.
Okay. A pleasant evening to our esteemed speaker of the day, Dr. Radhakrishnan sir, and all the respected participants. I am Poonam Jeswani, BCom coordinator from Vedanta College.
Yes,
On behalf of organizing committee,
Shall I start,
I
ma'am?
welcome you.
Kamal.
A pleasant
Am I
evening
audible,
to our
ma'am?
esteemed speaker of the day, Dr. Radhakrishnan sir, and all the respected participants. I am Poonam Jeswani, BCom coordinator from Vedanta College. On behalf
Yeah, continue, Poonam.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please continue.
Yeah. A pleasant evening to our esteemed speaker of the day, Dr. Radhakrishnan sir, and all the respected participants. I am Poonam Jeswani, BCom coordinator from Vedanta College. On behalf of organizing committee, I welcome you all to join us in this fascinating journey of rediscovering the treasures of Indian knowledge system. IKS is a function of tradition and innovations, which continues to inspire and guide us in every sphere of our life. The Indian knowledge system, with its vast repository of ancient texts and philosophies and sciences and arts, and has been a guiding light for civilization, not only in India, but across the world. It includes various ancient text philosophies. Now, the question is, how do we integrate all these ancient texts into our life? So, before we explore this question, before we start this session, I would request everyone to rise for the national anthem.
अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जय गण जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Now, I would request Principal Ma'am to speak few words about the college.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Poonam. And namaskar and Shubh Sandhya to Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai and all our dear participants. आज का दिन तो हम सभी टीचर्स के लिए बहुत शुभ है. सभी को शिक्षा दिवस की हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं. May we continue to enrich ourselves and enlighten our students in the best possible way. आज हम इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम का एक और नया पहलू समझेंगे और वो है गवर्नेंस. In the olden days, governance was known as Raj Dharma, that is, duty to govern in such a way that it may spread happiness amongst maximum people. We have a treasure of ancient texts which guide us to the concept of welfare state. To name a few, Mahabharata, Shukracharya's Niti Sar, Valmiki's Ramayana, and especially Kautilya's Arthashastra. Our speaker of the day, Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai, is an avid researcher and eminent speaker on Kautilya's Niti. Without spending much time, I request Poonam to introduce Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai.
Yes, ma'am. It is my privilege and honor to welcome Dr. Radhakrishnan sir, who is Guru in Chanakya Niti. We are honored to have with us Dr. Radhakrishnan sir, who will be guiding us over the course of this program. His vast knowledge and experience will surely open new opportunities for us to explore and implement. In today's session, Dr. Radhakrishnan sir will teach us how these ancient principles enhance modern governance practices. He is rated as India's #1 best-selling business author, with 17 best-selling books on Chanakya, starting with all-time record-breaking sales of Corporate Chanakya to children's series named Chatur Chanakya. He has readers from all age groups from across the globe. He is the founder and director of Chanakya International Institute of Leadership. He also teaches in various universities and educational institutions as a visiting faculty. He has done over 1,000 lectures in institutions like, just a minute, National Defense College, Defense Service Staff College, Indian Institute of Management, Indian Institute of Technology, Reserve Bank of India, Bombay Stock Exchange, National Stock Exchange, etc. He has been a leadership and strategy advisor to over 500 organizations, including various corporations, government, and NGOs. Many national and international awards have been conferred on him. Some of them include Avishkar Research Award, International Yoga Day organizer, Sardar Patel International Award for contribution to industrial development, Rotary International Award in the field of education, Lokmat Award for the best teacher of philosophy. He has been the part of various national and international projects of Government of India, including First International Yoga Day Academic Conference organized in USA by Indian Council of Cultural Relations. He has also participated and presented papers in various conferences and seminars. Dr. Radhakrishnan sir, rated as top 50 management thinkers from India by thinkers50.com. He is on a mission mode to bring back ancient Indian wisdom in a modern format. This was all about Dr. Radhakrishnan sir. Now I would request sir to proceed with the session.
Thank you so much. Am I audible, ma'am? Am I audible? Yeah. Both of you are muted, so just want to.
Yes, you are audible. Yes.
Thank you. Good evening to everyone. Thank you, Sangeeta ma'am, for inviting me for this session. Let me start with a happy Teachers' Day. You know, when Sangeeta ji was making the schedule and say every day one speaker, and I got the 5th of September. I was fortunate. I said, thank you so much. Because this one day where, all teachers are busy for the right reason. Because otherwise we are preparing for classes, preparing for exams, preparing for admission. There's one day that you can say, okay, mera din hai.
Correct.
I've been very fortunate to have a name, just a name, on whose name Teachers' Day is celebrated.
Yeah.
Dr. Radhakrishnan. There are one or two things which are common. Number one, he was a philosopher. My PhD is also in philosophy.
Perfect.
He used to also teach Indian philosophy. I teach Indian philosophy.
Perfect. Yeah.
And he was the vice chancellor of Banaras Hindu University, BHU, before he became the second president of India. I'm neither a vice chancellor nor a president of India.
But you are equally worth it. So the way you're spreading knowledge and with the most required kind of knowledge, so that makes a lot of difference.
Thank you so much. So we should never forget that we stand on the shoulders of the giants.
Yeah.
हमारे पीछे भी जो पूर्व आचार्य टीचर्स होके गए. So today is my third program, public program on Teachers' Day, as selling Sangeeta ji. So I had been to one of the colleges, management institutes, where we celebrated Teachers' Day, and also they inaugurated a book club. I did a AR, All India Radio interview on Teachers' Day, and thank you. The day is ending on a very good note, where we are doing this online IKS conference also. Thank you, ma'am. The topic for today is governance and IKS. It's such a wonderful topic that's a need of the hour. Let me start with first IKS and then we'll come to governance. IKS, Indian Knowledge Systems, Bharatiya parampara of Siksha, the tradition that Indian knowledge has, is unparalleled to any part of the world. Any part of the world. I'm not telling that other part of the world doesn't have knowledge systems. Of course, they have. And I think we should respect every culture across the globe. And we have today a global generation where we have international participants also. So what comes from the west or the east, we should not differentiate. Yet there is something about Indian knowledge systems, and that is what differentiates us from the other cultures. It's got a foundation of spirituality. क्योंकि कोई भी फील्ड आप चूज करो, whatever field of knowledge subject you choose, finally you will reach the Atma Tattva, as they say. For example, I remember when I was learning, one of my Sanskrit teachers used to tell me this: take any subject in India, maths, geography, history, you take any, or medicine for that matter. Along with those subject matters, the teacher teaches you the knowledge of that subject. Slowly, slowly, they will introduce spirituality. And finally, you can reach God through mathematics. You can reach God through chemistry. You can reach God through arts, management, leadership. You take any subject, that's where IKS stands out. We are not telling that Indian knowledge system is only spirituality. That's also a problem. A lot of people think that Bharatiya Gyan Parampara means Adhyatma Gyan, only about the knowledge of the self, only about God, realization, mukti. Of course, that's the final goal. But remember, we were the richest country in the world as well. So we had economic systems, we had a lot of other systems that were perfected by our so-called teachers, and generally we tell them as gurus, acharyas, or rishis. And I'm so happy that in this whole few days, we'll be covering various aspects of IKS.
Yeah.
My topic for the day is governance. And one of the greatest books for humanity originating from India. I'll repeat those words. One of the greatest books for humanity originating from India in the field of governance is Kautilya's Arthashastra. I've been fortunate to do my MA in Sanskrit and PhD in the Arthashastra from the University of Mumbai. So I'll be sharing some ideas of governance, not only from Arthashastra, but other Indian texts also, which Sangeeta ji just mentioned, Ramayana, Mahabharata. You can go on and on and on. There are so many aspects of governance is there in the Upanishads also. Of course, I'll speak about them, but since I'm a subject matter expert on Chanakya and Arthashastra, most of my content for today will be limited, or at least, limited to a bit little bit of a scope to Chanakya. But as I always say, begin with Chanakya, but don't end with Chanakya. Indian knowledge system has many gurus. So as we start, I want to, in fact, I would say repeat one of the questions that was asked in Akashvani, All India Radio. Tell us something about your teachers on Teachers' Day. Tell us something about your teachers about Teachers' Day. So I was trying to recollect, where do I start? Well, it's, of course, the first teachers in our culture is our own mother and father, Mata Pita. We give them Guru Ka Sthan, Matru Deva Bhava, Pitru Deva Bhava. So I've been fortunate to have fantastic parents who guided me on the spiritual path and also to become academically successful, whatever I am today. Second is two of the teachers I can recollect. Is number one, Dr. Gangadhar Nayak. He's the one who taught me the Kautilya Arthashastra. One teacher, one student, 6,000 sutras. Imagine the dedication that the teacher showed. He was a professor, head of Department of Grammar in Adi Shankaracharya Sanskrit University in Kerala. But he accepted me as a student, and without any inhibitions, he trained me in Arthashastra. Second teacher, my PhD guide, Dr. Shubhada Joshi Madam. Also was somebody who guided me so much in detail. And of course, by the grace of God, I could complete the PhD. I had a gold medal.
Wow.
But let me tell you, all those teachers, be it my parents or Gangadhar Nayak sir, or Shubhada Joshi ma'am, and all the other wonderful teachers I met, right from my school days, were selfless and motivated to take the Indian knowledge systems forward. So I think after this particular talk and seminar, we all should become carriers and promoters of IKS. That's a small request because Teachers Day, let us take some responsibility also. हमारा एक कर्तव्य है कि ज्ञान परंपरा को आगे बढ़ाना है, भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा को और आगे बढ़ाना है. So wherever you go, you should make sure that Indian knowledge system is directly or indirectly promoted. Directly through syllabus in your classrooms, indirectly through chai pe charcha. What do you mean by chai pe charcha? When you are having some guests also, they may not be your students, but while speaking and maybe having a cup of tea, tell them, Acha, have you tried an Indian version of this? For example, if you have a skin problem. Okay. You generally apply something like a Bernal, which is, very important in today's generation. But baat karte karte, have you tried turmeric? Have you tried desi ghee? The ghee for skin problem. Actually, ऐसा बोलते हैं कि अगर जब भी कुछ जला हो तो जले में घी डालते हैं. But the reality is that ghee is actually a medication for burns, which I did not know till my dadima told me.
Yes.
Now you see, you are not talking about Chanakya here, but you're talking about an Indian knowledge concept. Otherwise, as you know, the system that haldi and basmati also will be patented by somebody else. The
Right.
knowledge is for humanity, but India should start with its own contribution by taking the authority. But remember, let's not glorify the past. We should make sure we take the knowledge systems forward also. India has got this double advantage. We have a legacy, we have a past, but remember, we should also have a better future.
Yeah.
So with that, let me talk about, three aspects of governance and IKS. Because the subject is so vast, you can go on and on and on. In fact, I've written 23 books on Chanakya. I've been very fortunate. But my latest book, all the books have been talking about these three aspects of Chanakya and governance. My latest book, Chanakya's 100 Best Sutras, also talks about that in detail, right from corporate Chanakya and all that. I'm not going to speak about my books because for me, I want to talk about the three aspects of governance that Indian knowledge systems have covered. The first aspect of governance is leadership. The second aspect is economics. And the third aspect is recognition. Recognition. I'll come to that third point later. So leadership. Governance is equal to leadership. Good governance begins with good leadership. Now, you'll be surprised. A lot of people say, okay, as the leader, so the organization. Mahabharata is very clearly said, Yatha Raja, Tatha Praja. So I've been very fortunate to study the field of leadership and governance. In front of the Mumbai University, we have a chair for leadership also and governance also. At the Chanakya International Institute of Leadership Studies, we have that. So when we organized the first conference, I remember, it was quite surprising for us to know that leadership and governance is directly connected. Let me give you an example. If the leader is good, the governance is good. If the leader is corrupt, the whole governance system is also corrupt. It always starts with the leader. The value system of the leader becomes the whole value system of the organization or institution. It is very, very important that we train leaders to create good governance. An example of that in the corporate world. Today we have a concept called as ESG. Today banks are no more, looking at only one report, what we generally call as, financial statements. For all the teachers over here, please get ready for the next level of audit. Because when we say audit, we generally look at it financial audits or performance audit. But a new system has come globally called ESG. You will be actually audited on three more basics structures. One is called environment, sustainability, and governance, ESG. As a knowledge system in our country, we already are very environment friendly. हम तुलसी को भी पूजा करते हैं और हल्दी को भी भगवान को लगाते तिलक. So all of us know this, and we are having practices in our culture, in Indian culture, which is very close to environment. Sustainability. We believe that legacy. should be carried forward. ऐसे नहीं कि एक लीडर खत्म हो गया तो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन खत्म हो गया. Just to give a latest example of one of the Indian brands, it has become very recently the world's number one brand in the food industry, Amul. Now Amul has got sustainability. Dr. Varghese Kurian, who started the milk revolution, is physically no more there, but the vision has sustained over generations. And today we are very proud that Amul is an Indian brand. The second is sustainable. Third is governance. So the first point is that as the leader, so the governance. So train the leader in good governance. I remember the first report that came on governance in the corporate field was written by Kumar Mangalam Birla of the Birla Group.
Okay.
And we have Vedanta College also here. The Marwadi culture that we have, a lot of business communities, they also have their own governance method, formal or informal. They believe in philanthropy, they believe in giving back. In fact, that's very important that leaders should also know how to give back. So that's leadership. In fact, Arthashastra talks about the concept of leadership coming from how your people are happy. In fact, if you can see behind, there's this very powerful Chanakya Sutra. Praja Sukhe Sukham Rajna. So how do you know whether you're a good leader? The simple formula is Praja Khush hai, to Raja अच्छा है. प्रजा दुखी है तो राजा बुरा है. So the whole attitude. Today we say customer centricity, or in students' language and educational system, it has to be student centricity. NEP 2020 is very student friendly, and a lot of teachers are frightened. अरे यार, हम लोग का नौकरी रहेगा कि नहीं रहेगा? You don't have to worry. The reality is that student can choose which class to attend, which class not to attend. So better be a good teacher. You are no more limited to taking lectures or actually giving exams and passing them. You have to show your leadership, your teaching quality while you're running a class also, or an education institution also. I know there are many of principals here, and most of the teachers will become principals later on also. So get ready for academic leadership. That's governance. The second is economics. Of course, Kautilya's Arthashastra. What is governance without a good economy? Otherwise, पैसा ही नहीं है, क्या आप बड़ी बड़ी बातें करते हो? It's very, very important that you should not be money minded, but you should be money conscious. What do you mean by being money conscious? A very simple formula. पैसे की जरूरत है, लेकिन पैसा सब कुछ नहीं है. और बोलने से पहले पैसा कमाओ. So it's very, very important. Leaders should understand economics. So most of the education institutions runs on two kind of revenue systems. One is fees. Second is grants or sponsorships. So I think we as leaders and people who run the governance of education institutions should definitely balance both. फीस जरूरी है, बट आपको पता है कि फीस में सब कुछ नहीं होता. So when you have students festival, you tell them ना स्पॉन्सर लेके आओ. राजा को व्यापार समझना चाहिए, लेकिन राजा को व्यापारी बनना नहीं चाहिए.
Perfect.
Otherwise, what will happen is that all the leaders will become corrupt.
Yeah,
A lot of people say in our country, not only our country, but across the globe, politicians have become businessmen. Reality is that politicians should understand business, but don't become businessmen. Support business. Tax कहाँ से आएगा वरना? So it's very, very important that whatever field you are governing, you should understand economics. And the first step, Kautilya or Chanakya said in the Arthashastra is start with budgeting. जिसको budgeting नहीं आता, he will never understand governance. What is budgeting? I'm sure all of you will do that for your respective institutions or departments. साल में annual budget बैठती है ना? Incoming and expenses, very important. But इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि इसे budgeting करो. You should also know technically what is called fund flow also. पैसा आता भी है, जाता भी है. कहाँ जाना है? If you don't understand that, corruption will become part of it. So it's very important to understand economics for good governance. And it's very, very important to have the third factor. One is budgeting. Second is expenditure, income expenditure. Third one is auditing. As the organization grows, there's a lot of money, and there's always scope when there's a lot of money, and people who are involved with that money can actually take away some money. So therefore, audit is very important. People who are honest are never afraid of auditing. It's very important, this economic side of governance. Not every country, every I would say institution or every department will have an audit, right? So today you have IQAC, that's a quality audit. We also have financial audit, performance audit. There are almost 60 type of audits. If you ever Google it, you'll find it. So I was with one of the IRS, Indian Revenue System. He was a commissioner, and he was telling me that we have many audits. Okay, I didn't know. I thought only financial audit. No, no, no. Performance audit hai, quality audit hai. In fact, many people may not be aware. Today there is a cleanliness audit. स्वच्छता का भी audit होता है. Gender audit, inclusivity, all those things. So I would suggest that for governance, please understand all this also. So again, summarizing it, one is leadership for governance. Second is economics, and we come to the third one, which is called recognition. Recognition, yeah. Actually, I tell you, in any particular place where there's good management or governance, people are recognized and given credits. वरना हम मेहनत करते रहते हैं, कोई शाबाशी भी नहीं देते. So please understand, every organization will have good performers, non-performers, and you'll have the in-between. High performers, non-performers or underperformers, and the basic level guys. You have to bring out those performers and give them rewards and recognition. Otherwise, they'll get demotivated. अरे वो काम नहीं करता, उसको भी उतना ही पगार मिलता है. ये काम करता है, मेहनत करता है, ज्यादा रेवेन्यू लेके आता है, he or she gets good rating, but he's not recognized. In the olden days also, we had these kings or the queens used to call people who are productive in the society and say, okay, you have done wonderful work, now you will get this bakshish. Today also the government of India does that. Best teacher award, best principal award. And then of course, sportsmen, we have, the Arjuna award, Dronacharya award. And it's also important that we understand there are also other awards like Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan, Padma Vibhushan, Bharat Ratna. So in your institutions, organizations, departments, you should have some rewards and recognition. So कुछ ना कुछ annual awards दो. आज मैं यहाँ पे गया था जो कॉलेज में, वहाँ पे one of the teachers who have been teaching for 18 years was recognized as the best teacher. Now it's a great feeling, right? When you go back and say Teachers Day was also an award with best teacher award. So you feel recognized. Otherwise you can demotivate people. That's a very important aspect of governance. So here is 3 pillars of good governance: leadership, economics, and recognition. In fact, a lot of people who were productive in the country were made advisors to the king. Akbar had his Navaratnas. One of them was Tansen. He was a good singer, Raja. Somebody else was Birbal, as they say, advisor. And not only that, even Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, he had this, Ashtapradhan. So 8 advisors who are very good. That's a recognition. So when you get promoted, you feel recognized, right? If you are given a bonus or an increment, you get recognized. It's very, very, very important that you recognize people and promote. With that, I like to end with a small story. Okay, recognition के बारे में एक story बोलता हूँ. So let's end on a lighter mode. So there was this village, okay, and this village, there was a choraha, as we say, junction, जहाँ पे सारे दुकान होते हैं, people come there. So this village, a lot of people used to meet in the choraha, and in that choraha, in that particular junction, there was a huge well. Okay, and people were sitting over there, chai पी रहे थे, बातें कर रहे थे, and gossips are good because you come to know what others are doing. So बातें करते, and suddenly they heard some chaos around. They looked at one small child had fell into that huge well. Everybody rushed. Bacha gir gaya, bacha. Everybody was talking. More than 10, 15 people who came, but nobody went down to save that child. Now think about it. Like everybody is there. It's a very busy place. ऐसा नहीं कहीं पे some faraway place somebody has fallen down. Nobody knows. Everybody knows, but nobody is taking any action. and the child is almost drowning. And suddenly there's an old man, he's 85 years old. He jumps and then he saves the child. And everybody's clapping. Today's generation, if somebody is dying, people will take a selfie
Yeah.
rather than saving the life of the person. आग लगी है तो आग बुझाना नहीं, ऐसे सेल्फी लेके व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में सर्कुलेट कर सकते.
Seriously.
So suddenly this particular person jumps, old man, 85 years old, but he takes the risk and then he actually saves the child. So everybody in the village says he has to be recognized. He has to be recognized. So we should give him some rewards and recognition. And then in the model of governance, a politician came to know about it. तो इसका हम लोग सत्कार करते हैं. Let's give a nice celebration. Like Teachers Day, everybody must have got a lot of gifts. आज टीचर्स डे तो चलो इसका भी सत्कार करते हैं. The politician says very good idea. I have learned in Chanakya also, the politician said कि जब तक हम लोग लोगों को recognize नहीं करते, I'm not a good politician or a leader. So part of governance, recognition. So on a day, they call all the village. There's a big stage put up, and the politicians are known for his speeches, J, J, J. It's a very nice politician friend of mine. He's a very humorous person. बोलता आपको पता है कि how to become a successful politician? बोला I don't know. I know Chanakya, but I don't understand this modern day politics. He says triple J. Triple J, like RRR, the movie. तो
Yeah.
J, J, J. What is J, J, J? तो ज्यादा बोलो, जल्दी बोलो, जोर से बोलो और झूठ बोलो. बोलते ज्यादा बोलो, जोर से बोलो, झूठ बोलो. ये क्या है? That's how. So this politician came, बहुत ज्यादा जोर से बोला देखो ऐसा होना चाहिए हमारे. What is the youth doing? Sleeping? सीखो उनसे. आप लोग खड़े थे and this person dived and saved the child. So better, you should all become like you're a role model. So they give him some award, shawl, some, flower and all. You give and recognition. And then finally the time came. मतलब कि वो अंकल दादाजी आइए ना, आप भी स्पीच दीजिए. So now you are recognized. Please tell us what made you inspired to go and jump in front of everybody and save the child. So this old man never given a speech. Slowly came on the stage, dar ke. So I don't understand all this, your recognition, rewards, and all those things. I was standing there looking at that child drowning like everybody else. But I just want one question. You asked me, how did I get inspired to save that child? Where did I jump? Only one question. Who pushed me inside? मेरे को अंदर किसने ढकला मारा, so that I had to save myself and the child.
Okay.
Now I'll tell you why am I connecting this. The idea is that, after a point of time, it only becomes a process. Every
Yeah.
year we should have one best teacher. Every year we should have one best student. Here we should have one best, whatever XYZ. Now, please understand, it becomes boring. It should be inspiring.
Yeah.
So what's important that all of us over here are teachers. But these teachers, just because we did not find any other job, or just because we're too good and gold medalist, we should be actually a role model teacher. And if you're role model teachers in your department, in your colleges, please recognize them. And recognition doesn't mean only giving them awards on an annual day. Can be a sabashi. बहुत अच्छा कर रहे हो, आगे बढ़ो. I always tell my students, you're so good that you should become teachers. So just to summarize the whole thing, good governance and IKS is a long journey, a lot of things to study. We should study. But Chanakya said 3 things about good governance, part of Indian knowledge system: leadership, economics, and rewards and recognition. Just think over it and enjoy the remaining part of Teachers' Day. Once again, wishing all of you a happy Teachers' Day. Thank you, Sangeeta ji.
Yeah. So Radha, I have 2 questions for you from those asked by the participants.
Yeah.
So one of them, because actually in the current scenario, people are too confused about, is there governance at all? That is the kind of situation we are into. So there's a lot of confusion that what is good governance. So we keep learning a lot of theories and all that. So one of the question is that how to ensure the participation of diverse citizens in decision making process, so that governance becomes more accountable, effective, and inclusive. So this is what generally in theory we learn, and old texts also say that there used to be participation, like you said, that those who were good, Shivaji Maharaj and Akbar, everybody brought them into their governance. So, but is that possible in the current scenario? And if it is, how, because so much of conflicts we are seeing currently amongst people because of the diversity, basically, So what is your view on this?
Thank you, Sangeeta ji. हिंदी में कहावत है, ताली एक हाथ से नहीं बजती.
Hmm.
So governance has got two aspects. One is the leader and the administration.
Hmm.
Second is the praja.
Hmm.
For example, let's say there is this, political leaders in a country. Then we have this administration, IAS, IPS officers, civil servants. Now we consider them very powerful. But let me tell you, they are actually categorized as civil servants.
Hmm.
Now, if they become corrupt and they start showing the power, then it's
Yeah.
bad governance.
Correct.
Reverse. If the people are not giving feedbacks, that's also bad governance.
Hmm.
तो बहुत सारे लोग इंडिया में स्पेशली क्या हो गया है कि ज्यादा बोलते ही नहीं. If there is something to be told, they don't. I remember this, Sangeeta ji. There were some roadway potholes, which is very normal in India. So somebody was complaining. I said, what did you write to the district collector? कोई नहीं सुनने वाला. अरे लिखो तो सही.
Correct.
So, of course, after writing, they don't take feedback. That's one part of it. But they don't want to even pick up a mobile and drop in a, customer feedback, bolo ya complaint bolo. And actually from the other side, I went to a place where there are a lot of potholes and all those things. Okay? So I was with the commissioner of police there. So then, you know what he told me? Do you know why the roads are bad in my city? The lack of governance. No. Huh? But that's bad governance, no roads. Well, there are two aspects of it. One is corruption with the PWD, the Public Works Department. Oh, hey, I mean, we know that. But you know what the problem? Nobody raises a voice. No complaints. So what I'm saying is that, of course, we have the social media or the mainstream media now. They're trying to do it. But coming back, one part of governance is दोनों तरफ से.
Yeah.
राजा भी अपना काम करना चाहिए, but प्रजा भी अपनी काम करना चाहिए. And I tell you something very sad. In India, we don't like to pay taxes.
Yeah. Correct.
Somewhere as a nation, अरे गांधी जी ने बोला था टैक्स मत दो, but they also for the Britishers, वो चले गए. So governance has got two aspects: what the government does and what those citizens do. So I think I like to end this answer with a very famous Upanishadic question. So one Shishya asks a guru, teachers देना आज. बोलते गुरुजी बुराई की जीत क्यों होती है? And you know what he told? बुराई की जीत कभी नहीं होती, because we have the concept of सत्यमेव जयते. सत्यम एव जयते. बुराई की जीत नहीं होती. बुराई की जीत कभी नहीं हो भी नहीं सकती. लेकिन अगर आपको लगता है कि बुराई की जीत होती है, उसका एक ही कारण है, सच्चाई साथ में नहीं काम करती.
अच्छा.
So if people come together, no government can stop us.
Yeah, correct.
So it's very important that we actually, I'm not telling you to be only an activist, but at least be active. And today there are so many things we can do to work with the government, not just work against the government.
Yeah, correct.
It has to be inclusive, as you said. Thank you.
Yeah. And the second question is again on the same lines, that we are seeing so much rampant center-state conflicts on distribution of resources, partisan politics, corruption has become kind of a norm. So, the faith of the public on good governance is failing. They have kind of accepted it as a norm, but like you partly already answered it, that people are not raising voice, and they have come to that resigned kind of situation that कुछ नहीं होगा, and हम मैं क्यों बोलूं वो नहीं बोलता है वगैरह. But this is becoming even worse every day, this partisan politic, and political will has also been very poor for so many years. So are we looking forward to any ray of hope, because yesterday Bharat Bapat said that, Aurobindo said that in 147 years we will be top of the world, and top nation in the world. And so in 2047, we should be the best nation in the world. So for that, most important is good governance. So what is your view on this?
No. So, it all depends on the youth of a country. I personally feel very sad that the youth of the country has got no hopes on the country. So हमारा generation तो गया. अगला generation को भी लगता है कि there is no hope, and that's a very alerting, alarming situation. See, we are not against you going abroad and studying.
Yeah.
Please understand. But the thing is that how many percentage comes back?
Yeah, correct.
So it's a very big problem because, we may say we are the largest populated country in the world. We may say that, our youth is the strength of our country, all those things. But where is the youth going?
Yeah.
The best part is that youth, wherever they go, whichever part of the world they go, they become leaders.
Yeah.
So they can be business leaders or corporate leaders like Sundar Pichai, Google, Microsoft. We have the best doctors in the world coming from India, the best teachers in the world coming from India.
Yeah, correct.
We have the best administrators, bankers coming from India.
Yeah.
But somewhere the system, they don't have faith.
Yeah.
So it's very important the youth says, okay, so, our generation as teachers, we have to correct the system.
Yeah.
But इतना बुरा हो गया है after independence that शायद, we have to continue this change even with the youth of India.
Yeah.
हम तो शुरू करेंगे. And I'll tell you one major problem. I remember I was addressing this batch of IAS officers. जब कोई भी youth system में join करता है, they're all very positive. They're toppers, they're intellectuals. If you have cracked the UPSC exam, you're not ordinary. And they have the Desh Bhakti also.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, what happens? They start with the spirit of contributing to the country. The system is so bad that the elders train them how to be corrupt in a system.
Yeah, correct.
कहते सच्चाई लेके but वो सामने वाला. Some have to cut that lineage, break it out.
Yeah.
और इसमें once again सच्चाई और त्याग की भावना होनी चाहिए. So there's a joke, there's one government officer and he said, I'm never corrupt. I don't take bribes. I'm not even corrupt.
Okay.
तो one colleague जो उसके बाजू में बैठा था, इसको कोई देता नहीं है इसलिए लेता नहीं है. तो
But I'll tell you the truth, I go to these government offices for various approvals and all that, and वहां पर ऐसा बोर्ड लगा होता है कि ये ब्राइब मना है, और अगर कोई मांगेगा तो ये नंबर पे, और वो बाजू में वो बंदा बैठ के बोल रहा है कि मैं नहीं करूंगा तुम्हारा फाइल, तुमको पैसा देना ही पड़ेगा. So मतलब that is the kind of situation we are living in, and we just continue to agree to it. So yeah, somewhere
we have
that,
to break it somewhere. We have to break it
yeah,
somewhere.
yeah, correct. And it's such a pleasure, that people like you, if you would have gone abroad, you would have made millions, and we would never have the fortune to listen to you and learn from you and bring about a change. So we're really privileged that people like you decided to stay back in India and educate the people and bring about the very much required change. So God bless you, and we want so many more people like you to continue to guide us and help us. It was such an amazing and such an interesting talk today. So I request Poonam to give the formal vote of thanks.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening. First and foremost, I would like to express my sincere thanks to our distinguished speaker, Dr. Radhakrishnan sir, for his insightful session. Your deep understanding of the subject and the way you connected the ancient wisdom of India with modern governance practices was truly enlightening. We are sincerely grateful for the time and effort you invested in sharing your expertise with us. I would also like to thank respected Principal Ma'am for her continuous support and encouragement. Your leadership has been instrumental in making this program a reality. I would like to acknowledge the efforts of the organizing committee who worked tirelessly behind the scenes to ensure that this program ran smoothly. To our participants, thank you for your active involvement throughout the program. Last but not least, I extend my thanks to the technical team, the support staff, and everyone who contributed in big ways and small ways to make this event a success. Once again, Thank you all for being a part of this faculty development program. Let us continue to carry forward the knowledge we have gained and apply it in our respective fields, contributing to the growth and development of our educational and governance system. Thank you. And we look forward for the same enthusiasm for tomorrow's session. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Radhakrishnan. We look forward to continue the association with you in the larger interest of the academic fraternity. Thank you
Always,
so
ma'am.
much.
Thank you so much for inviting. Good night.
Thank you, participants. Have a great day. Bye.